Okay, let's just check the sound levels, make sure we're looking good. This looks fine. Go and check the loadout of the aeroplane as well. And the time's fine. Loadout is, we've got 100% fuel. Yeah, that's all going to be absolutely fine. Okay, let's go and get the checklist ready and we'll run through it quickly. So first things first, we're going to go over, remove the chocks and the tie downs and the pitot covers. And do we need to do anything else? We're going to work without a GPS because it's more fun. And we get lots of other things in here. So this does have Simbrief integration as well, which is quite hilarious, really. But we're not going to use any of that stuff. Why would it need a top of descent calculator for a tiny little GA plane? Anyway. Okay. Mixtures are rich. Fuel selector to the desired tank. We'll go with the left tank first, and we'll prime the engine. So let's just come across. Once, twice, 3 times. That'll do. So back down here, we're going to turn the batteries on, and everything's come to life. Turn the alternator on, and the fuel pump can come on. Anti-collision lights can come on. Open the throttle quarter of the way, or quarter of an inch, sorry, and turn the engine over. So let's just check the volume. The sound, it's a little bit loud, isn't it, for you probably? Just turn it down a little bit. Okay, so we'll run it up to 1000 RPM. Just keep an eye on the needles. So the oil temperature's coming up, that's good. Oil pressure is slowly climbing as well. Okay. So let's go and turn the radios on. So we'll turn the sound on. We'll put the nav on as well because we'll be playing with the nav radios along the way. Put the common nav radio on, put the VHF radio on, switch on the transponder, and switch the ADF on. I doubt we'll be using it, but you never know. Turn the nav lights on, turn the radio lights on. Okay. So, calibrate the altimeter. Okay, that was quite a long way out. Calibrate the directional gyro, that was miles out. And we can go taxi. So we'll also set flaps for takeoff, which is done. And we'll, I think, just stop complaining about the race with the forklift truck. What is going on with the head tracking tonight? It's absolutely driving me around a twist. Just going to check the runway layout. Yeah, I suspected as much. So, before we get going, let's go and tune the nav radio into another beacon somewhere. Or we could use this one and fly away from it, couldn't we? So Floro is 11230. So this is a combined comm and nav radio, so we can put it into nav mode. And we want 112. Head tracking is being switched off. It's being an absolute pain in the backside. One 230. Switch that to active, and we've got the. That's excellent. We've got the tones. It's not very loud, but at least we have them. Okay, so this will tell us the direction to fly, to go there. That's from. I want it to go the other way round. There we go. So we need to fly about 220. Okay, that's the bearing from us to it. Being a lunatic, aren't I? We want to be a 62-degree course away from it. So let's just spin this round. So we want about 62 degrees on here, so that's the direction we'll fly away from the beacon once we're in the air. But we're not in the air yet, obviously. Okay, let's put the head tracking back on because it makes it easier to get spatial reference. 53 knots is the rotation speed, so we've just achieved that. Up to 70 knots for optimum climb speed, which we've reached. This head tracker is having an absolute nightmare today for some reason. Okay, so we're obviously not supposed to be going this way. We're looking for 60 degrees. So if we just cut across, we should pick up the beam. Here it comes. There we go, so we're on the 60-degree radial, 62-degree radial away from Floro and on our way. So we'll have a little play with some of the radio kit in a minute. So you can see we're just following the track there. 34 miles out towards Ander, if the aeroplane doesn't push us into a hillside. So let's have a play with some of this while we're en route. So 75% on the engine now we're in cruise. So that gives us the bearing that we're on from Floro, which is really cool. So we can save VORs. That's pretty cool as well, isn't it? So I presume, based on what we've just seen then, is there no DME? Doesn't look like it, does it? Should we put this into alt mode? Oh, did I put P28 in the title, haven't I? I'll go and edit that in YouTube while we're flying. It shouldn't take too long. I'll just take the it's been a long day. That's all I'm going to say about that one. I'm just going to go and fix the name of the flight. Live. Edit. P38 Tomahawk. PA38. So it's, yeah, PA38 Tomahawk. Easily done. That's that fixed. So if you refresh your YouTube link, you should find it's behaving now. So yes, hang on a second then. The gauges are brilliant. I wonder what's going on with the head tracking. Has it got dirt on it or something? Maybe it was, it's better now. Maybe it just got mucky. So Jason is asking my all-time favourite mod. That's really difficult. Let me have a think. Possibly the BAE 146 from JustFlight. But then I don't know. The Fokker 28 is very good as well from JustFlight. The Airbus A300 is very, very good from Inibuilds. I suppose I want to be careful with this because it doesn't have any anti-icing measures, does it? We might have to change the weather. So we're coming up to 3,000 feet, so we're going to start leading the mixture out. I'm just going to have a look at this, just to see if we haven't got any DME. It would be a shame, wouldn't it? got some power on. So we're looking for about 70 knots for optimum climb rate. Looks almost real, doesn't it? So just answering Jason's there asking about my system. If you look in the bottom of the notes of the video, I list what I've got. So if you expand the notes at the bottom of the video, there's a full rundown of what I've got in my machine. So we're just climbing over this great big hill. We could just follow the valley round actually. If we go down here, you can see that's where we'll be going, along there, so we could go down to the bottom of here instead of going over the top. Although I guess you get nicer views from across the top, don't you? It's debatable actually. I'm thinking this weather is a bit over the top. Should we change the date? A bit more like it, isn't it? Okay, let's level out there at 5,000 feet and pull this back to 75%, which we should be cruising at. Go and have a look from outside. Such a different landscape, isn't it, than you see a lot of the places around the world. So, did we leave this on... Is this using automatic? Oh, the click spot for that switch is minuscule. You have to click exactly on the switch. Yeah, so the fuel selector's on automatic. Well, Microsoft have made some pretty good pilot models. I'm just reading the live stream comments. And a lot of the other aeroplanes are coming out with their own pilots now. So really the onus might be on the aeroplane developers to include pilots with them. So the airfield we're flying towards is Anda. Now there is an ADF down here, look, 28H. Should we see if we can get it working? Yay, it's working. Very cool. That arrow should lead us directly to Anda. So over here is our hours. One of... How strange. We don't have a temperature gauge anywhere, do we? Oh, there we go. So that's the outside temperature is 10 degrees, which is fine. A bit chilly. Let's start dropping down through this valley. There's great big rock features. Put my head through the roof, just see that. So Captain Icelander is saying, what do I think of the aeroplane? I think it's great. It's very, very realistic, or it seems to be. So we're about to fly down this fjord on our way into Anda. So we're just coming up here and we'll cut through. I think the aeroplane's only available from JustFlight so far because it's only just come out, so it's obviously in the queue at the marketplace. There is an autopilot in the tablet, so if you turn the tablet on, it's here. It just does altitude hold, heading hold and nav, so I'm guessing following a localizer. I'm just descending down so we're not too high when we get to end up. The quality of the rendering is brilliant. Okay, we're down to 2,000 feet. Going to open the engine up a little bit. Stop the descent. I'm going to richen the mixture up a bit. .2300 RPM is about right, apparently, according to the book, which is 75% throttle, achieves that on a good day. So you can see where we're going now. Round the corner and have a go at landing or doing a touch and go at Anda. Then we have to try and figure out a route through here to get to Hovden. So we are going to need to get through there one way or another, probably up through that valley over there. Should we cut the corner? Should see Panda directly in front of us, and there it is. So the question is, can we side slip in from here? Which way's the wind? 2 knots, just nothing to worry about, although the sun's in our eyes, isn't it? Just going to make it problematic. Side slips wonderfully. Hopefully the sun will disappear into that landmass, or the reflection, sorry, I should say. There we go. Still haven't quite got the landings down, but we're getting there. So after leaving here, yeah, we need to go and find a route around here. So we'll go around this huge lump. Unless if we double back, does it give us a better route? Yeah, it does. Need to get the nose down first, get some speed on. Okay. Might have to go up and down here a couple of times to get some altitude. JJ Stevens is saying, do I fly in real life? No, I don't. I'm a software developer in the real world. Or my proper title is Senior Technical Consultant. So I work for one of the bigger Microsoft partners, doing all sorts of solutions to do with web applications and business automation and all that kind of stuff. If you find me on LinkedIn, you can find out who I work for. So I'm just trying to figure this out. Do you think we could make that? Not at the moment, because we're losing speed. I think if we fly up to this hill and then do a left orbit, still climbing, that might give us enough to go up through that gully over there. Or we might be able to get in through one of these actually, with a bit of a squeak through it. Yeah, maybe we can. So if we go for best climb rate, which was 70 knots, wasn't it? And go through this gap. So we don't actually need to double back. There's a church up there, can you believe that? Or is it just a hut? It's probably a bovvy of some description, isn't it? Okay, over towards Hovden. So basically 355 degrees all the way. So just keep an eye on the... We ought to double check that. Against drift. Looks okay at the moment. Someone's left finger marks all over the glass. I wonder if you can see the fingerprints. If you look closely enough. So, I'm guessing, rather than go over the highest point, if we go sideways here and go through this valley, does this aircraft hit the frame rates? No, JustFlight are very good at developing aeroplanes that are quite light on resources, and I've not seen any evidence that this is going to cause any sort of frame rate hit. It hasn't got any systems to model inside the aeroplane because it's manual. Obviously you can replace the radio kit with a GPS if you want to, but you don't have to. So really the simulator is not doing very much. Okay, so then we're going to come back through Björkedal, I presume that's called. Hopefully I'm not butchering these place names too badly. Just want to see if there's any grass on here. Yeah, there is. Keeping an eye on that indicated airspeed. We're descending quite steeply, but got the engine pulled right back to idle. You can't hold them. You can't leave engines at idle for too long, though. It can cause trouble. I think what's going on with the head tracker is it's picking up the microphone and thinking it's part of my face. So when I turn right, it becomes erratic. Never had it do that before. I've just moved the microphone a little bit off. Yeah, it's when I turn right. If I turn left, it's rock steady. It's the microphone that's causing it, I think. Okay, so if we follow this way through, this will take us straight out to Hovden. Well, that's the plan anyway. So, do we have any other radio beacons around that we can use? We already tuned into Oh no, was that the one that was back there, wasn't it? So we've got 389 on the ADF. And there it goes. Very good. So, what altitude is Hovden at? Is that, yeah, 243 feet. So we're at just over 1,000 at the moment. So if we just maintain this altitude, maybe climb a little bit so we can see it at least. Tobii is usually quite good. I think it's like I said, I unwittingly had put the microphone across my face. And now it's out of the way, it's rock steady. So it's basically, it was because it was obscuring my face. And I tend to have the microphone quite high up my face, so breath doesn't hit it. So JJ Stephen says, I bought the Sim Federation Challenger off the market and it don't even work. What's the Challenger? I've never heard of that. Oh, Challenger 350 Phenom. I think I've got it. I didn't have any problems with it. It seemed to work fine. But then I haven't flown it for a while. Maybe I need to revisit it. Okay, so we're just coming up to 1,500 feet, which gives us at least a little bit of altitude. So, looking at the map here, it's behind the hill. So it's round here somewhere. So if we fly along the coast here, or along the shoreline I should say. Oh, there's an interesting church down here. Part of, obviously it's a custom 3D shape by the look of it. So should we cut back on the throttle and go and have a look? So we may have to double back to do this. Let's extend the flaps. It's a bit of an Easter egg hunt, isn't it, when you find a custom object. pretty cool. Okay, let's get back in the pilot's seat. And we should find an airstrip around here somewhere. Just behind the hill, apparently. Is that it? Yes, it is. Quite a big airfield, isn't it? It's quite built up. Let's do a circuit around just to have another look at it. Okay, next leg, 23 miles north, basically. Let's go and have a look. So do we go straight across the hills? We would have to go through there. Is there a way? Or do we go round? A bit of an ask, isn't it, to climb that quickly. We'll have a crack at it. I'm just wondering if we can get through here. Let's have a look at the map while we're climbing. So yeah, we may be able to. Look, it's quite a long drag to get up there, then go via this Gorgafossen. So just coming up to 1500 feet. So we'll look for maximum climb rate, which will be at 70 knots. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. There's not much room to double back if we get this wrong, is there? Once we're in the valley. Having said that, the Tomahawk does turn very tightly. No, I think we're fine. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be absolutely fine coming through here now. And then once we get out of here, it's just going via, maybe we divert over Sula and Fillingsion, is that? I'm not sure how you pronounce some of those letter combinations. Never know what's going to be around the next corner, do you? Stunning. I think we're supposed to be over that side, aren't we? Yeah. Just off the bottom of the map there. Let's move this back a bit. Do I fly helicopters? I haven't tried the current R22, whatever it's called. I've got the Airbus. Oh, what's it called? No, not the 145. What's the big one that came out? The 6 something or other. You can see how knowledgeable I am about helicopters, can't you? I can't even remember the model numbers. But the big executive helicopter that came out is very, very good. Is it the 160? I can't remember. I think is it the 160 that the real helicopter costs something like 18 million? Some crazy amount of money. Okay, let's have a little look at the map. So we could go in between the islands, so we need to go up there basically, if we're going to straight line it. Otherwise we go over via Sula, which is over there. I'm tempted to go that way, just to have something to look at, otherwise it's going to be quite boring. Having said that, we're going to miss out this town on the corner, aren't we? Is it Kvernberget? Is that? There isn't a cloud in the sky, is there? It's almost eerie how clear it is. Oh, should we go back to live weather then? If it's causing... Oh, that's why we had not a cloud in the sky. Of course. What about if we put the... not that. Real time on. Is it totally dark? Yeah, it is. Oh well. Maybe we won't do that then. What have we got in terms of wind? There's still only a few knots of wind. So we're going to go out to Sula and have a look around. Sigrid, the pop singer. I don't think I've heard of Sigrid. I've not heard of many pop singers anymore though. I know Taylor Swift, not personally obviously. Wasn't Sigrid the name of the girl in the Eurovision movie as well? But that was in... She lived in Husavik, didn't she, in Iceland? And she was fictional. It was Molly Sandon, wasn't it, the actual singer? Flight Sim's very good at that, isn't it, with the mist and the hills. It's very, very good. So, if we cut across the top of this hill, across that rolling green landscape, maybe we cut low across it, which will make it a bit more fun. So, where we're actually flying to is beyond that lump, so it's over there. Okay. So we'll descend down over this town anyway, and this one. So if we side slip this to get rid of the altitude and speed, we'll go down the side of the hill like a toboggan. Just keep an eye on that indicated airspeed, because this is going to get a bit hairy. another one of those amazing churches. I'm going to do a left turn and loop back towards it and have a look at it. Right, so let's go over the other side of the bay here. Quick look at the map, see where we're going. So here's Alesund on the other side of the bay. Yes, we are in Norway, or the crinkly bit that Slarty Bartfast won an award for. If you haven't read Hitchhikers, that will have been completely lost on you. It is incredible around here, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. There's a bit of a sunken ship texture over here, just to ruin the immersion. Okay, let's head out across the water. Okay, so this is Vigra. Should we try the ILS out? The wind just about supports it. 11195, 243 degrees. So if we fly it this way and prepare it on the way, so 11195. So we want to change the nav radio. So we've got that. So you see where we're going first. I'm going to turn the head tracking off for a moment to do this. Okay, so that's changed nav 1. Now we want the course to be 243 degrees. So we change the OBS to, of course it's the exact opposite side of the nav instrument. But this has got acceleration built in. Oh, that makes it even better. 243, wasn't it? This would be about there-ish. So the glide slope's alive, which means it's not lost it completely. So there's the runway. It's not very far away. We don't need ILS to land there, do we? We're just having a bit of fun with it, really. So if we fly the reciprocal for a minute, so I'm just looking at the... I'm just straightening that up. That drifted quite a lot. So we'll fly away from the airfield on the opposite direction of the runway. So we're waiting for 243 to come around to our tail. And level out. Plane's not going very fast, though I'm only on 75%, but still seems to be quite slow. Okay, so if we've now turned to about 340 degrees, let's use the turn coordinator to do it. This turns really quickly, doesn't it? So that's 340. And then turn in again. And let's see if we can intercept the beam. Don't attempt this at home. It's not far off, is it? So let's go and actually concentrate on this and do it properly. So let's get the ILS back in the middle. Well, this plane's a so-and-so to trim when it's got the flaps down. I think the wind is gusting a little bit as well, which isn't helping. Hold it off the runway. Down to about 40 knots then when we finally let it go. We need to do an about face. Spitfire style. So how can we make this trip a bit more interesting? I suppose if we stay on the land on the way up to Aro, Or stay alongside the land, I should say. I'm going to turn the head tracking off for a bit. It's starting to annoy me. Obviously it needs a reboot or something. It's really struggling. Oh, now the sim's chosen to freeze itself. Jasmine is saying, do I limit the frames? Yes, I limit it to 30 frames a second and I use VSync. Which makes it nice and smooth. I also only bother with 1080p because that's what I'm broadcasting to YouTube. So there's no point going higher because then I just have to downscale it. So should we try out this autopilot? So at the point you select, it picks the heading you're on, so it's just doing heading hold and altitude hold basically. But you can do nav as well. So yeah, there's a VOR here, look, 11580. So if we change this to nav, that's interesting. I wonder what M&S does. I'll have to have a read about that. So then you can choose the radial, and I'm guessing it will just maintain the radial. So we obviously want to go the other direction, don't we? So we want to fly with the VOR behind us. Fly directly away from it. If we just hit nav now, it will fly the radial, I imagine, and just chase the... We will actually want to be on 68 degrees. So... about there. So it will hopefully not hit the hillside in doing so. I guess if we take off heading hold, altitude hold, we can then just use trim or just control it ourselves with the yoke to give it a climb, and then hold the climb rate with some trim and some power, and then when you get to an altitude that you like, you can just re-engage altitude hold. So we'll let it climb to a couple of thousand feet at least. People, I'm just reading the live stream comments, people chase frame rate and they're a bit, I don't want to use the wrong word, they are unwise to chase frame rate, because anything beyond 25 frames a second your eye can't see anyway. The only time you would ever notice it is in parallax, as things go sideways past you. So as you can see, 30 frames a second, even looking, if we look sideways, you can't really notice it too much. Yeah, so even if we do and look down at things going by, you can just see it's blurring a little bit because it's not got quite the update rate to do it. But the result of it, if we pull up the processor graph, look at the CPU's running at 30%, the GPU's running at 35%. Look how much headroom it's got for if it does get busy on the screen. Obviously it's using a load of GPU RAM, but the actual 3D work is minimal. Should we turn that back off? Oh no, actually I need to leave the tablet open, don't I, for the autopilot control. So we were busy climbing and letting the aeroplane climb. So let's give it a bit more of a climb rate. Be interesting to see if this damages the engine at all with pushing it right up against the red line on the RPM. We haven't got that. Should we switch that on? Our wear rate is unrealistic, so it's still showing 99%. That's fine. Okay. The only thing that's really missing with the stock radio kit is distance measuring equipment. Whether it is here and I just haven't found it, I'm not sure. It's a bit of a shame if it hasn't got it. But you can always triangulate because you've got 2 nav radios. So you could do that. And you've got ADF as well. Are there any ADF beacons up here, by the way? Let's have a look. Yeah, there's one here, look. 393. Let's go and do that. There it goes. We're just creeping our way up towards 2,500 feet. How many hertz is the monitor? 60. So 30 works lovely with that. But I'm broadcasting out using OBS, and OBS is being told to send it at 30 frames a second. So it's matching, you know, it's synchronizing with what's coming out of the graphics card. So it's sending it to YouTube at 30 frames a second. So Junior says, following from the beginning here in Brazil. Welcome to the live stream Brazil. It always amazes me the international kind of reach of doing these videos. It's amazing. Okay, should we put that altitude hold on now? That's 2,700 feet. That's probably enough. And we'll come back off the throttle, bring it back to 75% to cruise. Can we open the storm windows? Oh, do they not let us? Oh, yes we can. Very cool. I love that they got these kind of understated marks on the glass. And the reflections are quite understated as well. They are there, but they're not too strong. Should you see what the night lighting is like? We haven't tried that, have we? If we were to change the time of day, let's put the sun down. So we can still see the ground at least. It's pretty good, isn't it? Have we got dome lighting up here? I think we have, but I can't find the switch for it now. If I press L to cheat. No, it doesn't go from up there. It's obviously one of the switches down here, does it? Let's go and have a nosy around, see if we can find it. So those were the 2 knobs, unless you just turn those up further. Yeah, they've just been turned up to maximum. So you've got radio lights and nav and panel lights. Yeah, it was just turning those up more. Always looks good at night, doesn't it? Of course, this part of the world doesn't get as dark. Or it depends on the time of year, obviously. But it doesn't have the extremes of the day. So Yasmin says greetings from Sweden. We really do have an international audience on the live stream this evening. Coming in towards Aro, so we can tune the ILS in again, 10975. I wonder, no, this hasn't got approach mode, has it? I'm trying to be too clever now. But it has got nav mode on that autopilot, hasn't it? 10975, and it was 70 degrees magnetic. So let's go and have a look at that again. So light grey means on, dark means off. So it's getting the localizer on its own look. It's set up an intercept. See it doing it? So let's see if it banks left when the CDI comes into the middle. So even if it doesn't do the descent, it's still doing the localizer for us. That'd be good fun actually. If I turn off altitude hold, we could trim it to fly down the approach path. Is it a 3-degree glide slope? 3.1 degree, okay. Can't have everything, can you? Yeah, so it's straightening itself up. It's the interesting thing, if you know the glide path and you've got the chart, obviously we could pull this up in Navigraph, couldn't we? Because then you can see the chart. What's the name of the airport? ENML. So if we go airports and go ENML, open airport. Well, can we not just go there? Charts, approach. Here it is. So that's our little aeroplane. We're just approaching the glide slope. But what I was going to look for was this. So yeah, it wants us at 3,800 feet, 11.5 miles out. We're already past that though. So a big do is, oh here, yes. So 3,800 feet, which we're nowhere near. Which is why we're below the glide slope. I was just wondering though if this gives you a descent rate. I don't think it does. Because all I was going to say through a very circular conversation is if you know what altitude you're at and you know about the glide slope, you can figure out how far away you are. You know, even if you can't see the airfield. We've got the fuel and automatic, haven't we? So we're just waiting for this to come in. The airfield's going to be over there somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, it's like it's on the edge of the hillside, right in front of us. So we're just waiting for the glide slope to come down, and then we'll start chasing it. So if we turn off altitude hold, what we could do is actually pull up into the glide slope. So notice we're getting closer to it. So we're, at this point in time, we are at the right altitude. I think the runway's down there on that spit of land. So then we need to set up some sort of descent rate that will keep us going down at the right pace. So let's go for about 300 feet a minute. It needs to be more than that. It's usually about 700 feet a minute. See the runway out in front of us. I'm just trimming it gently to try and get it in the ballpark. So yeah, it looks like it might be about 500 or 600 feet a minute looking at the movement of the glide slope needle. If you look way out in front of us, there's the runway. So the pretend autopilot is taking care of the holding the localizer, so steering laterally, and we're just taking care of the glide slope with the trim. And we've got it just about right. Although saying that, it's waving around a little bit. So I'll just remove some power, which should make us drop more. Then we can just increase power to bring the nose back up. It just takes a while for it to happen. So we're almost back on the glide slope now, look. Oh, the things you do when you're bored. Or the, what is it they say? About idle hands and the devil and playing with ILS. So, can we pull the power back, get the speed down and get the flaps out while we're on this glide? Look at it push the nose over when the flaps kick in. Quite tricky to get this to trim itself, or to trim it, you know, so it doesn't wander off. So obviously it's very dependent on airspeed because it's such a light little aeroplane. The amount of lift you get changes the balance enormously, and therefore the small changes in speed change the lift, so you end up playing this circular game. Formation landing coming up. So, should we just turn this autopilot off now and take over? We can follow the ILS just as easily as the aeroplane can. So we're too low at the moment. There we go. So you can see the PAPI lights now. We've got 2 whites and 2 reds, which agrees with the ILS for a change. Quite often in Flight Simulator it doesn't. So we've gone high. You can see 3 whites. This thing has so much lift. As soon as you put any power through it, it obviously goes over the wings and kicks the aeroplane into the air. We're not on landing flaps either. We're only using 50% flaps at the moment. How long will it hold off the runway if we keep pulling the nose up? Just started to stall. We've got some crosswind. Wonder where that came from. Yeah, look at the windsock. Okay, so we're off through the hills now. A bit more fun. So do we have something to give us a direction? Yes we do, 11380. So about 30 degrees. Exactly the direction we're going. Is there an ADF beacon over there as well, I wonder? Sorry, DME I should say. Not DME, a non-directional beacon. Is there one over here? Can't see one. Maybe not. Turn that off now. The click spot for it is absolutely minuscule, and it doesn't help that the head tracking is playing up again. You have to essentially click exactly on the piece of metal. Near it is not good enough. That's the only downer in the whole aeroplane so far. Is that problem. So Christopher says hello from Norway. So we're just about to come through these hills. I'm just trying to get some bearings on which hills we go in between. I guess, yeah, where the water is down here, we can go left through there. Let's have a look from outside. Okay, so if we cut through, this is where I was intending to cut through, yeah, that makes sense. So we're going to come through here. Pylons. Whoa, there's some wind through here. Of course this is a valley, so it's funneling the wind. The left wing just got lifted enormously. Had to counter it with quite a lot of aileron. Bit of unexpected slope soaring on the left side of the valley. One day I'll reinstall the power lines add-on, which will add all the wires back in. Be quite interesting. Should we go and surprise the farm? to get back onto Trek. Just looking at the live stream comments, Michael's comment about anything aviation related being, yeah, it's on a different scale of expense to everything else, isn't it? I remember one day seeing the price of one nav light and I was scared to death. You only have to look at the Bose headsets for use as, for pilots. They're just unbelievable. Right, so we skim around the edge of this island, through this gap, and that will take us through to Kvernberget, and that's probably not how you pronounce it, but I'll apologise in advance. I'm not a Norwegian speaker. Too far to go now. So how's this done on fuel? This is the interesting question. So we've used about a third of each tank. So this journey was 140 miles-ish with some wandering around here and there. So you can do about 500 miles then quite safely. That's not bad, is it? I guess it depends on the wind as well though. Whoa, look at the bridge. We may have to go on a bit of a... Okay, this was one of those deviations that we were talking about. This is probably a famous bridge in Norway, isn't it? It's a bit of a detour, but we spotted the bridge and thought, got to go and have a look at that. Really nice suspension bridge. It's the first aircraft I've seen in the sim that has this radio kit. So I need to go and have a read about it to see what some of the extra buttons do, because it's not obvious. Right, got to try and find our way back now. So this was heading straight to the destination, wasn't it? So if we just... So directly north by the look of it. So out over this island. So a little look at the map. Yeah, so we go straight through the gap that I was talking about earlier, which is fine. You have to find the gap though. Maybe I'll get a bit of altitude first. I like back to basics VOR navigation. I'm just looking at the comments there. It gets you out of jail sometimes. I think we just follow this track on the left, don't we, down the road? Yeah. That leads through the hills. We may as well descend right down then. Although if you get too low, you don't get to see any scenery, do you? It's always a bit of a trade-off. Maybe we'll stay here. Where is the airfield? Kvernberget. Should we call it up on the... I hardly ever do this in the sim, I never bother, but should we try it? Oh, does it not have tower? That's a shame. So wind dictates runway 07, so I guess we just cut across and drop in on the airport then direct, seeing as we're not going to be told by a tower where to go and land. Or how to approach. So it's just in the trees here. So let's get the speed under control. Doing a right pattern in. It's a huge runway. We need about a third of it. We'll be able to turn off by the exit point, won't we, quite easily? should we go park then? You know when I said we'd make the exit point? The brakes aren't very good. So we ought to really go and turn the landing light off. Parking brake on. Cut the fuel. And then magnetos. I'm just trying to remember what else. So we're going to turn the radios off. Turn the ADF off. I think that's about it. Oh, the lights. And alternator and battery, and we're cold and dark. So let's try the doors out again. I think it's up here, isn't it? Very cool. Should we open the other side as well, just for a bit of fun? Oh no, that relocks it. You just have to push it once you've unlocked the latch. Very cool. So there we go. That was the, after I retitled it, the PA38 in Flight Simulator from JustFlight. There's always somebody, isn't there? I hope you've enjoyed this. And I'll see you again soon. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Oh, hang on. Someone on the live stream said, I see you have an ADF. Do you remember how to use it? Yeah, it's straightforward. If you go in here, I'll just briefly hang around to do this. So obviously you have to switch it on. You just tune the frequency on the knobs. So you've got the frequency, and then the direction arrow is over there. So you just tune it in, and so you tune this into a non-directional beacon, and then this will point towards it if you're within range of it. If you've got a LittleNavMap, you can cheat a little bit, and it will tell you what the ranges are of them without having to go look it up on a chart or anything. So you can see here, look, you've got 50, they're not usually very high range, so that's a 15-mile one on that one, for example. But there's a few of them around. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it there. See you again soon. Take care.